This video will help you write your postcard letter. So open up my sample and then also open up your letter. And first retitle your letter, your name, followed by the words postcard, letter. Postcard should be one word so I can easily search for your document. The second thing you need to do is share it with me, acarey@mvwsd.org. Make sure I can edit it. And then if we talk about what actually belongs in your letter, it's going to be pieces that help us reach our objectives. Our first objective is that I can write a correctly punctuated and formatted friendly letter. And the second objective is that I can articulately request help in a letter. So it's like persuading someone to do something for you. So yes, to review friendly letter format, I actually Googled it. I found several different samples to make sure I could see what elements were the same between them. And I want to make sure you have each of these elements in your letter. First of all, you should have a friendly introduction. That includes a greeting like, "Dear Earthling." And then it also includes an introduction, which, as I saw Sib write to another child, you want to make it personal in order to increase connection. So instead of just, "Hello, how are you?" When I wrote to Karen, I said, "Hello, how are you doing? I'm looking forward to seeing you at holiday break because it's been too long since we've spent quality time together." The next thing you need is to introduce the project. You want to tell them that we're working on a virtual family trip project, and explain a little bit about what we're learning in the project. We're learning about life in different states around the country. We're doing a real life simulation, making a family trip to another state. Maybe you want to tell them that this project helps us learn 5th grade skills like decimal math, comparing prices, budgeting, and research skills. You may also want to tell them that we're learning about history of all the different 50 states this year. My second paragraph says, "As you probably remember, I am a 5th grade teacher, and in 5th grade we study American history. Currently, we're working on a family trip project where my students are planning virtual trips for their families to another state. In this part of the project, we are practicing real-life skills of decimal math, budgeting, price comparisons, and internet research. In our latest challenge, we are trying to collect postcards from all 50 states. The postcards will help us learn about other states and give us ideas about where we could possibly take our families." The next part of your letter is where you introduce your request. What is it that you really want your audience to do? You probably want to say, "Please send me a postcard." Or, "We'd appreciate it if you sent a postcard." You might want to explain that we're trying to collect postcards from every state, that we're trying to beat the previous record of 62 days. And then you might want to tell them some information they could include on the postcard. And remember, we're really trying to use these postcards to learn about life in other states, and specifically the history and the tourist attractions in another state. So you could say something like, "You might want to include any of the following: weather, historical events, famous people from your state, tourist attractions, local foods and industries, and/or famous geographical features." In my letter to Karen, I say, "We hope you will send us a postcard from your state to help us learn a little bit more about the weather, industry, geography, historical events, or famous people from your state. My class is currently trying to beat the 5th grade record by collecting postcards from all 50 states in less than 62 days. In section 4, tell them where to send the postcard. Make sure it doesn't say care of your name. It should actually say your name. So in my letter, it says care of Angie Carey. I'm going to change that back. So when I copy and paste it, it'll still say your name. Please, and you can actually copy and paste this exact address. Oops. So again, that's the next section. Notice that I indented each of my sections because they're really like a separate short paragraph in our friendly letter. And then the last section is closure. You're going to close the letter with some sort of warm and fuzzy, something that again wraps up the connection that you're trying to build with them. And a signature. Sincerely, your name. When we print these, which I can now do from the classroom computers, you will sign between those two lines. So my closures, thank you for any help you can provide. With your help, our project can be more of a success. So let's take a look at the format of my letter again. Notice that I included the date and I capitalized it. I put a comma between the day and the year. I justified it to the right. Hello, alarm. I addressed it to Karen, and I put a comma after her name, not after the word dear. I indented and included a personal introduction to make a connection to her. Then I indented and I gave a little background about the project. I capitalized proper nouns, like American history, which would be the class that we're studying, the family trip project, which is the name of the project that we're doing. Then I introduced, how do I phrase it? I introduced the request, what it is that I want her to do for us, and I explained it. Again, I indented this separate paragraph and separate set of ideas. Then I included an address. I should probably delete one of those lines. I capitalized the street. I capitalized the city. I capitalized both letters of the state abbreviation. And I left 2 spaces, maybe even 3, before I put in the zip code. This is also the return address, which will be on the top left of the letter. Then I indented and included a lesson or a letter closure. And then I signed the letter, left 2 lines, and then typed my name, because when we print the letter, we will sign our names right here. I'm noticing a lot of kids are not capitalizing proper nouns. They're forgetting to indent each paragraph. And then they're not justifying correctly. The greeting goes all the way to the left. Your name and closure gets right justified in line with the date. And then go back and make sure you capitalize the proper nouns. That seems to be the most common mistake. Lastly, please read your work out loud to make sure it sounds correct with complete sentences. Thank you.